I needed a gas tank for a mower engine, uh, where you see some people just hang what looks like a 2 liter bottle up for a temporary gas tank. Uh, but for project builds, just having a tank, you buy a used mower, the tank's busted. Uh, so here's what I found to convert a gas can to a gas tank. So you get one of these ridiculous gas cans that has the safety button, nozzle on top, and I've already done some of the work here, but it's got that push button so that it'll release fuel out of the nozzle here. So this peg here holds this spout cover, and you just gently work it off, and there's an O-ring in there. If you see that darker line, you want to be careful not to mess that O-ring up. So when you get that off, then you can press the green plunger, and another piece will come out here that's kind of funnel shaped. It's white. It has an O-ring on it as well. You'll carefully remove the O-ring off of that white piece. You'll take and clip the white piece off, and then with that white piece clipped off, then you'll be able to pull the green button and the rest of that plunger assembly. It's got a spring on it, a green push washer, and another O-ring. You just gently pull that out. You'll take the O-ring off of the piece that you pull out, and then you put this O-ring back on, slide that back on. So now there is no more mechanism, and what we're making here is a breather for our gas tank. We are not trying to defeat the government here in the States, the government mandated safety spout, whatever. We're not going to use this for a gas can anymore. We're using it for a gas tank. So we've got, in effect, a sealed up end here, and we're going to take a piece of foam and make a foam block that'll fit in here that we can put a pin through here. So we've got a foam end here that's the breather for our gas, now our gas cap for our gas tank. So that takes care of all that. Now you go to your hardware store, and again, I've done a little bit of the work here. You get this brass barb that's threaded, and it's compression threaded on this side. We'll get to that in a second. There were these large stainless washers that had an inside diameter that I could get to thread up on the thread all the way up to here. Then I took the two fuel resistant O-rings that we salvaged out of here, and I've put them here. And then I've got another of the stainless washers, and then there was a compression nut this size that I've also got. So what's going to happen is I'm going to drill a hole in my can to make it a tank. I'm going to put this through the hole with the O-rings out the bottom. Then through the opening in the top of the now tank, this washer will fit in there. You have to press it. It is a tight fit to get it past the lip. But I'm going to get it down in there, get it over this, and then run that compression nut on the top of here. So my O-rings are on the bottom of the tank. And I then have a sealed way to have the line out of the bottom, breather out of the top. And then from here I can put a piece of fuel line. I can do one of them cheap on-off valves and then continue on the fuel line onto my engine. So I'm not worried about if the valve breaks, it's out here on the fuel line and I just replace it. So also with this ridiculous can, there's going to be the flame arrestor sieve down in your spout. You'll gently take a flathead screwdriver and pry against the side, just to pry it over enough that you can get needle nose in there to be able to pull it out. And it's about that long down into the can. They call that a flame arrestor. but when you're prying it away to get your needle nose pliers into it, you want to be careful not to mar this edge around here, because on this cap there's an O-ring around here and it seals onto there, and if you've marred it, it's not going to seal right and you'll get trash into your fuel, which once we run our barb out of the bottom, we can put a fuel filter in line after that anyhow. So where I plan to put my fuel barb, if this is holding up on camera, we've got this round spot here. I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and shave that little raised arrow off of that area. So I have this flat circle area here that I'll drill in the middle of, and that's where I'll put the barb assembly in, to be able to put a socket down here to tighten it into the bottom of the can now tank. So I will have a 2.5 gallon tank, and all in on this, the cost is maybe $30, and this is in 2023. And I didn't have to worry with trying to source the Viton or the fuel resistant O-rings, because they were already in the top of this. So hope that'll help you solve your issue for a portable fuel tank, temporary fuel tank, or even a tank on some assembly that you're putting together.